Like and subscribe. Follow up.
Hey, Shalom family. So today we're going to be discussing these two individuals right here.
Shout out Caramel.
Most of you have probably seen this image on the internet in the description that are given, regarding these two persons. So, most of us heard and seen that these are supposedly the last so-called, full-blooded Aztecs, right? But have we really done our research to verify all this? And, can we be sure of what we're seeing? Because, first of all, last full-blooded Aztecs, you're still here, so that's false, all right? So I just want to talk about the history, the truth about these two persons in this video. Now obviously they have woolly, curly hair, right, coarse hair, and these people, resemble more a so-called Negro than any modern-day Native American or Aztec of today. All right, and that's why we've seen this image a lot in certain websites. Like it says here in the description, 19th century Aztec couple, and it says a Mexican tribe now practically extinct by Holton Dutch collection. All right, so we're gonna debunk all this. All right, so again. All right, so these two individuals were also known as the Aztec Lilliputians, or the little people, the little small people. All right, and it says here, like it says in Wikipedia Commons, the Lilliputians by. This would be a close-up of the image that we just saw. All right, of these so-called last Aztecs, Aztec Lilliputians. Again, as we can see here in the British Library. We see the image here, we see the little small Lilliputians. Alright, what does it say? It says the Aztec Lilliputians, alright, from the great and mysterious city of Ishimaya in Central America. Alright, we're gonna look into that, really, huh? We're gonna look into that, alright? And Aztecs, who will appear upon the stage for one night only. Alright, and it says, look at the image right here. It says in the course of the evening, these enduring Lilliputians, the Aztecs. Alright, so look at the image. Alright, you see what these see? So-called Negro. These are so-called Negroes, right? You see them? Alright, it says Aztecs will appear and go through their various acquired accomplishments accompanied by the guardian who will detail the history of these marvelous beings. Alright, marvelous beings. Alright. And again, the Aztec Lilliputians. You see them right here in this image. Again, over here, see how they're being worshipped by other Indians. Alright, so again, Lilliputians. And this is from the Harvard Theater Collection. Alright, Robert Gary, who receives his PhD from Harvard, teaches in the English department of Wayne State University. Right, that was his collection right there, the Aztec Lilliputians. Alright. And just one more, we're here in the Victoria and Albert Museum of London. Alright, they got this image right here. I'm just going to show you a close-up of it. And this is the close-up of the image right here. Leicester Square, Linwood Gallery, says the Aztec Lilliputians and the Earthmen. Grand Fashion Exhibition of the Aztec Lilliputians and Urban Ninjas, the two new races of people. Alright, Queen's Concert Room, says here. Alright, so admission, and you see the images. Alright, what are they showing you right here? They're showing you so-called Negroes, that's Indians, right? Alright, so again, Lilliputians, they're showing them right here being worshipped. They're little guys right here. Alright. So the last Aztecs, right? Alright, so take a look at these last Aztecs. This is from the Welcome Collection. Alright, and we're going to learn that these two people were called Maximo and Bartola, alright? Maximo and Bartola, alright? The Aztecs, alright? So just zoomed in a little bit so you can see what they're portrayed as here. Zoom in some more. As you can see, what are these? These are so-called Negroes, right? Look at their afros. Look at their afros. Look how they're depicted here. Again, see them right here. They were brother and sister, actually, and they were always depicted as, we'll read. They try to marry them and, show them us as a couple. Alright, exhibit them. Alright, but you see what they look like? See their froze. Alright. images of them. Alright, as you can see here, who are these people? Who's this guy? Is that Barnum and Bailey? P.T. Barnum. Alright, so you see the coarse hair, the afros, you see? Alright, the so-called Aztecs, alright? What we're going to say about that? We're in the Massachusetts Historical Society, founded in 1791. Right? It says that's their website. It says extraordinary living wonders, the Aztec children, because they were also known as the Aztec children in Boston. All right, this is from Mary Fabisuski, senior catalogger. All right, I just want to read. Let me just show you this image first. All right. Just extraordinary living wonders on exhibition for a few days only at Copeland Building, 186 Washington Street, corner of Franklin Street. All right, look how they're depicted. All right, see how they're depicted with the temples and the mounds and pyramids behind them. Just the wonderful and world-renowned Aztec children, a male and female, one supposed to be about 17 and the other 24 years old, said to be the descendants and specimens of a sacerdotal or priest caste, now nearly extinct, the ancient Aztec founders of the ruined temples of Central America, as described by John L. Stevens, Esquire, and other Central American travelers. They have arrived at full maturity and are about 4 feet high, yet their heads are as small as infants, and though they have all the organs of speech, they are unable to utter but a few distinct words of any language, but can make themselves understood by those having them in charge. They have recently arrived from Europe, where they were received and marked favored by all the crowned heads and nobility, so they were exhibited in Europe to all the kings and queens over there. Alright, so this poster is letting you know they're back in the U.S. from that tour. Alright, so it's the greatest wonders that the human race has ever furnished. Indeed, they are admitted by every person who sees them to be the most extraordinary, as well as the most interesting and pleasing human curiosities ever known. And to physiologists and scientific men generally, they are beyond all doubt objects of the deepest interest. They are on exhibition with an African earth woman. Alright, so they're traveling with an African earth woman. Again, the Aztec children. Here you go. So back in the article in the Massachusetts Historical Society, says the remarkable Aztec children, says in November and December of 1850, for a 25-cent admission fee, 12.5 cents for children, Bostonians could view 2 remarkable specimens of the human race known to the world as the Aztec children. Small in stature and clad in Aztec-themed costumes, the 2 were billed as descendants of the specimens of the sacerdotal caste, now nearly extinct, of the ancient Aztec founders of the ruined temples of that country. Their slanted heads resembled illustrations of profile illustrations from Central American ruins that appeared in John Lloyd Stevens' bestseller Incidents of Travel in Central America, Chiapas, and Yucatan. To make the illusions complete, a fantastical account of their origins was sold at the Children's Appearances, entitled Memoir of an Eventful Expedition in Central America, resulting in the discovery of the idolatrous city of Ichi Maya. Alright, so we're going to get into these 2 books mentioned here. Alright, continuing in the article, it says, in addition to their popularity with audiences, the 2 also attracted much attention from the medical and phrenological communities. After their visit in Boston in 1850, Dr. Jonathan Mason Warren published an illustrated article on the pair in the American Journal of the Medical Sciences, which was later issued as a pamphlet. Choosing to stick to the facts, Warren identified the children as Indian dwarfs. So who was the children? They were Indian dwarfs. Alright, so can we rule anything out that says that they are African? That's why they got afros, or they look so-called Negro because they're ex-slaves or descendants of some slaves mixed with Indian. No, these were Indian dwarfs. Are you going to see throughout the video, there's nothing mentioned about Africans. Alright, so again, this doctor from the American Journal of Medical Sciences is telling you that they were Indian dwarfs, clearly not crediting the story of their semi-divine origins. Warren minutely describes their physical characteristics down to their slightly webbed fingers and their posture, which may well be compared to that of some of the simian tribe. You see that? Simian means monkeys. They're comparing them to monkeys, this doctor, alright? But he said they were Indian dwarfs, alright? Of their intellectual capability, Warren observed that they were quite imitative, but with regard to any communication by signs or language which they may have with each other, it appears to be not much greater than what might be expected from two intelligent individuals of the canine race. You hear that? Warren goes on to compare the size of their heads to that of infants, idiotic children, chimpanzees, and orangutans, concluding that the Aztec children, although a very low mental organization, cannot be pronounced idiots of the lowest grade. Massachusetts Historical Society. This is a so-called Negro girl. Alright, do you see this? Alright, so we are talking about Indians, and we are talking about the Aboriginals, the so-called Negro girl, alright? But are these Aztecs, or is this story true? About them being of a special priest, sacerdotal, or the last full-blooded Aztecs? Alright, let's look into this. So we're in the American Journal of the Medical Sciences, the one we just read about in the other article from the Massachusetts Historical Society. I just wanted to show you. This is from April 1851. Alright, so remember, after they saw them in Boston, they wanted to study them. Alright, you're gonna see this article. I'm not gonna read it all. I just want to show you some parts, but it's really messed up. They just really talking about them. They measured them. They did studies on them. So just to read a little bit here. It says, two children have appeared in Boston so remarkable for their smallness of stature and the peculiarities of their mental faculties that they seem to merit some public notice. I propose to state in the following paper simple matters of fact without attempting any speculation in regard to them. Alright. Again, this is by J. Mason Warren, MD, alright, remember? An account of the two remarkable Indian dwarfs exhibited in Boston. Indian dwarfs, alright, Indian. The children are a boy and girl, and from the appearance offered by their dentition, hereafter to be given, the former is from 7 to 8 years of age, the latter from 4 to 6. Alright, see how young they had them? Allowance being made for a retarded condition of these organs on account of the otherwise abnormal want of development of the whole body. Alright, the boy is 33 and 3/4 inches in height, and his weight 20 and 3/8 pounds. The girl is 29 and a half inches high, and her weight 17 pounds. Now listen to this. Their skin is of a dark, yellowish cast. A dark, yellowish cast. It's lighter than what is generally attributed to the Indian in this part of the country. So check this out. Very important that you listen to that. Pay attention to that. So it says that they are dark, yellowish cast, but still, it is lighter than most of the Indians in that area. So the Indians in that area are even darker than them. Alright? Again, this is what? The American Journal of the Medical Sciences. Letting you know that the Indians are dark. Alright, they're dark. Indians are dark skinned in this area. Alright? So their skin is, again, of a dark, yellowish cast, lighter than what is generally attributed to the Indians in this part of the country, and somewhat darker than that of the mulatto. So even darker than the mulatto, though, still. Alright, so they gave us 3 hues here. So they gave us mulatto, which we usually, think of, a mix, a very light-skinned, dark person. But they're telling us that they're darker than that, but they're still lighter than the average Indian. So imagine that, the Indians are really dark. They're telling you straight up here, put it 2 and 2 together, and be logical what they're telling you right here. They're not being specific, but they're letting you know. Alright? The hair of the middle part and rises is an instance from the root of the nose, but on each side of fine hair descends quite to the edge of the orbit. In the boy, it is a black, coarse, quite stiff. In the girl, wavy and curled. Alright? Coarse, wavy and curled. Alright? So they continue to talk about them, it's a lot that they go over. They go over their height, see, their spine, arm, forearm, hair length, alright, all science stuff, all measurements. They're measuring them like animals, I'm telling you. Alright, very disappointed reading this, but, that's what they were doing to them at this time, alright. I just wanted to show you, alright, what this, again, American... So I just wanted to show you again the American Journal of the Medical Sciences, what they're saying and their study they did on them, and letting you know that these are Indian dwarfs, Indian, alright? They're darker than mulatto, alright? Of a dark yellowish cast, alright? And you see they got coarse hair, alright? You see what they look like, again, alright? Alright, so continuing this website, which is the Special Collections Processing at Penn Libraries. Penrare.wordpress.com is the website. It says Maximo and Bartola and the myth of Ishimaya. I remember these they were supposedly found in this legendary hidden city called Ichimaya. Alright? Now, this is posted by Abby Lang, 2014. It says, while cataloging a volume of 19th century anthropologic and ethnographic pamphlets on the Indians of North America, this pamphlet jumped out with its typographically festive message of cultural imperialism and racialization. Alright, so they're talking about this pamphlet or book right here, which we have. Let me just show you. And this plays an important role with these two individuals, these so-called last Aztecs. Alright, so the title of this book says Illustrated Memoir of an Eventful Expedition into the Central America, resulting in the discovery of the idolatrous city of Ichimaya, in an unexplored region in the possession of two remarkable Aztec children, Maximo the man and Bartola the girl, descendants and specimens of the sacerdotal caste, now nearly extinct, of the ancient Aztec founders of the ruined temples of that country, described by John L. Stevens, Esquire. Right, so they're using this guy's